Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough with various wins for the Asia Champions Tournament here in Golf Clash the game. We're playing from the 30, which is Master Division, and we're playing Gokasho Bay and the Sakura Hills. Before we take a closer look at all the videos here in this playthrough, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that are looking to improve your game even more, scan the QR code that you can see here on the screen, or you follow the link that is in the description down below called patreon.com/golfclashtommy. That will take you to our premium guides, that is for Checkpoint Challenge, Tour Play, and for tournaments. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, the layup, here we are going to go with 3 right spin. We're going to go with 5.8 top spin, and we're playing an NMT adjustment or NMT position. What that means is that you're not going to touch the target until it's time to adjust the rings. Now, max plus 20 is the adjustment, not max plus 0. So max plus 20 is what we're using. Once we have adjusted, we're going to go max curl to the right, max overpower with a completely slow needle. For those of you that do want to play with a Win 5, you can do that as well. It's just the reason I want to display it here with a Win 4 ball is because you don't have to. You can still have an extremely good chance for a drop with a Win 4 ball. Those of you that may ask, can't we send it this one? Yes, you can, but obviously that puts the water and the bunker in play, and in the end, is it worth it? That's a question you have to answer yourself. But we provide a solid layup option that has absolutely no risk for water, which is a good thing to have in mind. Now, second shot, we're playing for either complete min distance or we're pushing up rings from min. We are going to go with 1.5 backspin. Is our default spin. So if you are going to play rings from min, you set 1.5 backspin that you push up until you have the ball guideline just through the hole. Always pull over bullseye, and we're using 10% elevation P5 numbers to do the rings from min. Perfect ball it is. Bounces on the green, right at pin for beautiful eagle here to start with on hole number 1. Get our guide for for expert and master for the Far East 9-hole cup on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Hole number 2 of the Gokasho Bay, play from the 3rd tee, and here we are playing one of the different options that you actually can use here on this hole. So what I'm doing is that I'm looking to have the bottom of the red ring where the rough meets the fairway, and this is now before spin with the ball guideline just short of the hole. Once we have found that spot, we are respinning, or not respinning, but we're adding spins to use 1.1 backspin only. Adjust is gonna be 10% elevation, and here it's gonna differ depending on if you do have a headwind, crosswind, or tailwind, if you're gonna play the mid number, the max number, or the min number for that matter. Adjustment is done. We center the ball to hit perfect, and the intention here is to take 2 bounces on this very bumpy fairway and then roll down the hill into the hole for a hole-in-one. If you do everything correct, you're gonna see yourself doing a hole-in-one. If you're slightly off, then you will miss like that. And it's very easy to miss like that, because how easy can it be to judge those big bounces on that very bumpy fairway? That's why there are different options as well, such as you can play with a backspin boost shot, you can play a rough bump from the right, but those type of play is very wind angle dependent and cannot really be played in all wind angles. Hence me showing this type of route where you can play this type of play in whatever wind angle you will be thrown at in the tournament. For hole number 3, you're gonna see me struggle. Here we do have a headwind, and from the 3rd tee, without any sort of a great topspin boost here, we can't really get over to the final fairway. So this is going to be a very difficult one to get a drop from distance if, once again, if you do have a headwind. So what I'm doing here is that I do lay up. I'm obviously not going to use my sniper. I'm going to use my apocalypse for the most distance possible. Adjust max plus 10. Using a little bit of overpower as well, together with some topspin, because the intention here now is to get this ball as far down the fairway possible without rolling into the rough and the sand, has to be said as well. And that could be trickier than what it looks. And obviously when we are getting this drive so short, only to 350, we don't really have much to do on the approach. Sure, we can try that I'm doing here in the video by using the final fairway to somewhat bounce up towards the pin, but this is such an inconsistent position with our club that is just going to be pure luck if we get this one in the hole. You will see me miss loads to the left, but that's because, again, it's not a good spot that I'm finding. You can try to bounce on the first fairway to try to trickle the ball up towards the pin, but it's not really going to give you any help in terms of consistency, as once again, the final fairway is not our best friend. So if you do have a headwind of tee, you're going to see yourself struggle, and an eagle here is definitely going to be way good enough to get a better score than your opponent, because there will be a lot of opponents then getting only a birdie. If you do have a crosswind or a tailwind, then we're going to do our best to get ourselves over to the second fairway, and then it's a different world, obviously, because from there we can then attack in a better way for an albatross. For hole number 5, we are going to play with a P5 ball, such as the Luminary. So you can play this one completely free to play, or you can actually use the Precision ball as well. That has the same type of stats, and there are plenty with other balls as well with similar stats that can be used. Stretch out to max, blue ring by right rough with a poke 8, and standard overlap with the other clubs. A poke 5 is going to have a push-up, or using a topspin boost ball. 7 topspin, 1 left spin, and adjust is max plus 10. We go then with max overpower with a slower needle. You can hit greats on either side and you will still be on fairway. The idea here is to roll through the rough like that, and then we're gonna play a thorn on the second shot. The thorn here now is going to be played rings from min. That's the easiest way to do from here, because there isn't really any clear check to where we would like to be. So we're going to min club, and then we're using no spin. So we're just pushing up here to have the ball guideline to the hole. And don't be fooled by the glitch. It's very easy to do that and think that long rollout is going to be the one to follow, but it's not. It's the more shorter ball guideline that we're gonna do. Ball guideline just into hole, rings from min plus 25% elevation P3, and it's 1% slider for every ring. That's why the thorn is so much better in a scenario like this, where playing with the falcon is gonna have to do specific tables, or it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Perfect ball it is, and goes up the green dead center for a lovely eagle here on hole number 5. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy for expert and master division for the Far East. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for expert and the master division for the Asia Champions tournament on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also scan the QR code, and that will take you directly to our packages. We are every single tournament catering to thousands of players that are using our premium guides, the ultimate tournament text guide. So if you do want to improve your tournament play even more, you scan the QR code, or you use the link in the description down below, and you sign up and see for yourself why we are by far the largest guide community on the market. Obviously, we do not just cater to tournament, we do have checkpoint challenge and tour play guides as well. Bundle it together or pay for it alone, and you will, most importantly, see that regardless what you choose, you will improve your game. On hole number 4, from the 30 tee in a crosswind and in a headwind, we are going to play with a driver most likely. This as it then is perfect for us to play from the min P2 line. Here I'm using some backspin and setting my quarterback at min with ball guideline to hole. Then the adjustment will differ depending on what wind direction I have here now in the headwind, but the true elevation is 10%. Now, again, you can play this one in many different ways, and like I said in the beginning of the like the voiceover here, that in a tailwind we are going to play with a wood club, and I would say that playing with a wood club here is more difficult because you're gonna most likely have to adjust a lot of rings if you want to play with the sniper. But there are club swaps that you can do. You can do offsets. There are many different ways, but hole number 4 will always offer a good chance for a drop. Hole number 6, Kokasha Bay from the 3rd tee here. We are going for a blast. This is a perfect wind to get ourselves close to the green or on the green. But when you're playing shots like this, there will always be a risk of going into the rough or into the sand, either before the green or after the green, due to just the nature of this type of shot. We're moving rings to the right. We are moving rings based off the wind angle together with the wind strength. And now we're just trying to use the correct spin setup, so once we do hit the fairway with our first bounce, we are going to slow the ball down enough and have the side spin enough to push the ball onto the green, or once again to be close to the green. Bounces, and you can see here that we come in here and we land nicely just before the rough on the back, but it's absolutely perfect, and this will mean that we're going to lock in the albatross in a very simple way compared to what it would be if you would lay up. If you do have a more crosswind typey wind, or you do have a headwind, this is not going to be a possibility to play the shot that I displayed here in this playthrough. Then you are going to have to lay up, and from there it's going to be a sniper or a B52 from distance. Hole number 4, we are going to look to have a very consistent drive. NMT with a P3 ball and quarterback to then swap to a POC and thorn bag. We're looking now to use 5.8 topspin and 1 right spin. Adjustment is max plus 20 P0, which is 1-to-1 with a POC 8. Once adjustment is done, we're going to center the ball and hit perfect. And this is a drive that goes in between 340 and 345 yards, or at least has done that the majority of the time when we have been playing this drive. And that is what it's all about here, trying to find a consistent way of getting the drive down the fairway to then have the thorn on the second shot, where we are setting 2 top spin and 3 left spin. We're then looking to have the tip of the ball guideline to go just through the hole. And you can see here now that we're doing some sort of a double bounce up, and that's a little bit finicky to find that position. So make sure to, if you don't feel confident with this going in, go into practice and give yourself a swing to just find that position in an easy way. From +3, we're playing 100% slider, which is max, and it's plus 5% elevation P3 numbers. Here we do add and subtract 0.1 for every yard. Center the ball, hit perfect, and we are bouncing up onto the green and rolling with a perfect speed dead center for an eagle here on hole number 4. Get our guide for expert and master division qualifying round and final round for the Far East 9-hole cup at patreon.com/golf-tommy. For hole number 7 of the Gokasha Bay, playing from the 3rd tee, we are going to use a 3 side spin ball. We're looking to have the blue ring to be by the rough line to the left, with the second bounce just where the fringe meets the fairway, and the ball guideline will then be pointing just right of the pin. Now this is a very tournament designed type of play, where this type of decision will not really work the same way if you do have a wind coming right to left, or straight headwind or straight tailwind. So you're gonna have to adapt for that. But what I can say though is, like, doing a bounce over like this is going to be the thing that brings the most consistency to this very tough par 3. And I do think this is a very tough par 3 of the Gokasho Bay, because we are going to have to bounce on a bumpy fairway and then try to understand the green that slopes a little bit right to left. 20% elevation, but again, the min, mid, or max is going to be very much dependent on the wind angle of tee. Hole number 9. This is such a difficult hole, where we do recommend to either play with the Thor's Hammer if you do have Thor's Hammer level 8, because then you can use a lot of topspin, or you can obviously use the Apocalypse for a lot of distance combined with some good topspin as well. Doing some sort of reverse power hook, I think it's called. We'll see, we're gonna try to hit a hook there, yes, or reverse power hook, and this to remove the need of hitting perfect with a max overpower needle. We do want this ball to roll as far down the fairway possible, but I'm only playing with a P5 win 4 ball. Nowadays we do have P5 win 5 balls as well, which would allow us to get even further down the fairway. We also have topspin boost as well that could be used. But if we're not getting further than that, then the only way for us to do here is to try to trickle this ball onto the green or short of green for a wedge. And that's going to be hard enough because we don't really have a good landing spot to land on. You can see how finicky this one is, and also how close we are to our max line. So when I'm adjusting here, we're going into overpower, and then the overpower that we are going to need to have is going to be a lot. So again, this is a headwind showing, and I like to show when it is very difficult, because you can't really get it more difficult on this one. And even if you do have a headwind off tee here, regardless what ball and club you can use, this is going to be an eagle only, because there is not really a way to attack the pin. If we do have a tailwind or we have a crosswind, but mainly a tailwind, then it opens up for possibilities where either a sand bump or a rough bump from distance, or like a guardian backspin shot from distance as well, might be a possibility. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for Master Division with various wins for the Asia Champions Tournament here in Golf Clash, the game. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen, or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for our premium guides, checkpoint challenge guides, tour play guides, and tournament guides for you to improve your game even more. So make sure to scan it and start your journey today. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your Golf Clash game.